We are here at Jane Addams Elementary, where controversy lies based on their newest addition to their clubs, their after-school Satan Club. A group of 6 parents gathered in front of the school on January 13th in an act of protest of the club. Some were holding signs that said, "You are not an atheist, you need Jesus. God knows your heart, you need Jesus." One person was even holding a cross that said, "Stop and talk."
This leads us to ask, to what extent do public school districts have the right to limit students' religious rights? There are other reports from situations similar to this one. An incident of children being forced to stand for the flag and pledge, which is a law passed in Alabama schools. Yoga being seen as pushing Hinduism on students, and teachers forcing students to say prayers from the Bible.
The district spokesperson from James Adams Elementary responded to the people who opposed the fact that they even allowed the ASSC. "We can't discriminate against anyone who is willing to pay for an after-school space for a club. The ASSC is run by the Satanic Temple, who rents a space out to hold this club. Jane Addams Elementary also hosts an evangelical club."
Clearly, people have different views on this and have people on edge.
Well, don't fret. We created a survey that you guys answered about this topic. Let's take a look at the results.
There was a survey sent out to people of the Emerson area asking about their feelings based on these situations. The questions in the survey consisted of the situations you heard about in the field report. Here are some of the answers. Do you believe that all religious clubs should be allowed in school? Most people believe that clubs of all religions are allowed in school, 67%. Also, since we've been talking about the Satan Club, we wanted your opinion on that. Do you believe that an after-school Satan Club should be protected under the First Amendment? The answers were very split on this one. 1/3 of the people said yes, 1/3 of the people said no, and 1/3 of the people were indifferent about it. Were you aware that the First Amendment protects all types of religions? We haven't touched on this subject even though we recite it every day, the Pledge of Allegiance. We asked you guys if you thought it should be mandatory for people to say the Pledge of Allegiance. About 52% of you said no, and 1/4 of you said yes or indifferent. While we are on the topic of the Pledge of Allegiance, we have another question involved in that. If saying the Pledge of Allegiance is against the student's religion, should they still have to stand up? Most of you said yes to this. And now we have a fun one. Yoga pushing religion onto students. A whopping 91% of you disagree with that. There we have it, folks. Perfect.
1.
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. This is the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, which grants the right to religious freedom in America.
Based on the survey, most people would say that all religions should be allowed in schools. Several school districts agree with that. We have come to the conclusion that the limits that districts have set on their schools about religious rights, and to the extent that they come to it, is depending on the district.
Nevertheless, there is great religious freedom among the education scene, unless an activity interferes with the classroom setting. However, there are some extremist schools that forcefully push religion onto their students, which violates the First Amendment.